Como me vuelvas a llamar eso, te bebes ese vaso.
Sabía que no eras sorda.
Tú tampoco eres mi nieta.
Sí que lo soy.
¿Cómo me llamo?
¿Manuela?
Me llamo Fanny.
A delightful little film to watch. Great characters, very quirky. I enjoyed watching their little adventure throughout the city and the fun little things that they experienced throughout their day, and how it brought them full circle at the end, right back to the retirement home where they started. And at the beginning, both characters seemed to be longing for something more or something different. And they kind of found each other. And after going through this day together and connecting, they were able to come back to the same point, but they were both somehow changed. Perhaps it was because they found each other and they could find somebody to relate with. But whatever happened during the day, their adventures seemed to satisfy whatever seemed to be missing in their lives. So it was a very beautiful story of two unlikely characters coming together and forming a beautiful friendship.
I really liked this. I thought it had depth and like great interactions between the two main characters, especially because there was such a big age difference between the two that sometimes when it's not like direct family, which obviously they weren't, it can be hard to kind of build believable like connection between characters, and they did that so well, and the jokes just worked really well because of the connection and the chemistry that they had together, and it was just like very like real. And like the way that they played things they like didn't let up on a joke of like, oh no, it's this way, no, it's that way. They're like driving all around town just to go back to where she lives, but it's the exact same place that they were at. Like all of these different things, but they like really committed to it is what made the comedy work. And I think it's also what made the end moment when they're sitting on the roof, it's what made that moment worth it.
Great concept how they're both like hiding from their families and they kind of get to confide in one another with that. And when they're in the process of escaping, like it's such a bonding moment, and it really like sets up the scene for the very last scene, which is very satisfying, seeing them like just happy and at peace together. I really enjoyed this film.
Really well done. For starters, the performances and the comedic timing was just great. There was just a lot of gags, a variety of gags. You had physical gags, you had dialogue. There was just a lot of that back and forth going on to keep it interesting. I thought the outdoor locations, obviously in the city, were great. It was all shot really well. Just felt like a really good, clean, polished comedy.
Over Wheels reminded me of immediately was the American film Harold and Maude, in that like Harold, Silvia is trying to escape the expectations of her family and becoming a chicken butcher, whereas Fanny is a free spirit who is not so much abandoned because she does have relatives who do care for her, but have left her in a place that she just doesn't belong. She belongs to be out in the world. And that is why the two of them were able to fabricate this friendship, one based on escapism, the other one based on freedom. Those were the elements and the thematic moments of the story that I think that worked extremely well. When it got to the part of stealing a car that belonged to a gay reverend who was looking for a book about nuns' nipples, the story became very obscure and kind of like it was reaching for feature-length material when clearly it was just too short to have anything that complicated and complex. But I thought that the scenes between the two actresses were very heartfelt and rendering and well written.
This was such a fun and wacky romp. I loved the classic humor tropes and shticks they had kicking. the back and forth between the two main characters, the woman initially not able to maneuver her chair to get around the corner, them being stuck in the broom closet. The naughty church folk was a funny little detail in it. But the real crux of the piece was that relationship, this very unlikely duo who are both two gals brought together by this drive to escape their lives, and the restraints that their families are putting on their lives. And I thought it was quite delightful. I really appreciated it, and I wanted to see more of where their journey would go together and what their life would look like, because I know it'd always be a pretty wild ride.
It was clear that Sylvia and Fanny took a liking to each other right away, and actually I think it was designed so that we took a liking to the characters. They were relatable. I mean, who isn't trying to escape something in their life?
I certainly interpret it that they have inspired each other to instigate change, so that the young girl, will press forward in becoming an actress. The woman will, I suppose, likely move out of that home. Maybe she's not very happy there, or she will no longer be subservient to her children. Whatever it is that she's really after, she will also pursue it now too, because they've met and because they've had this day together. And it's these little slice of life stories that it doesn't matter the genre. They really, when done well, resonate with viewers on a really spectacular level, because they remind us that our lives can change and take these drastic shifts in just the blink of an eye. And sometimes that's for the worst, and other times it's for the better. And I think it's safe to say that in this film, it's for these two characters, it's for the better of their lives that they meet each other and go on this very funny and wacky adventure with one another.